Hey guys, it is Chris back here again with another episode of Brawl. Today we are playing, what is their name? Kalia of the Endless Dance. That's what it is. So, green-red, don't know where blue came from. Haste. Whenever she attacks with two other creatures, whenever three or more creatures, I think is what it's worded as, you can basically discard a card at random and then draw two cards. Which is basically our plan of the deck. With a bunch of haste creatures, we have Kalia. Our opponent is playing Coma, the World Serpent. So we get Kalia down. She swung in. Our opponent thinking about swinging in, but they also kind of want to do a combat trick for us. So what their combat trick would be is that they're gonna pump their spirit down on board with its 2-mana ability when we attack. Probably hoping to snipe Gallia with that ability, but instead they're gonna have to settle for the Bolt Hound, because the Bolt Hound increases Gallia's power by 1, meaning it would end up being a trade as opposed to a one-sided exchange. But I did want to get in a little bit more damage. So the main purpose of the deck is to just really attack in with as many creatures as possible. We have a Toski in the deck. We have the 3-mana 2/3 red haste creature that can make creatures with 2 power or less unblockable, and has an ability where you discard your hand, draw a card for each creature that dealt combat damage this turn. Maybe each creature with 2 power or less, but I don't know off the top of my hand. Either way, that's the main plan of the deck. Hey, there she is. Still don't know what she's called. We actually end up going for Vivian here. The 5-mana Vivian, really good in this deck because a lot of our creatures are pretty low to the curve, but they're also pretty hasty as well. So we can -2 her, play a 3-drop, get a 2-drop with haste, and that basically adds 4 to 5 power to the board generally. Pretty decent exchange. And then if we get one of our bigger creatures like Beanstalk Giant or the 6/6 with haste and hexproof, we get either of those two, which we have one of them. You can basically get whatever you want. So we actually got the Toski off the top of the deck, and with the Toski I think we're going to get Arnie Broken Brow. That provides another haste creature to the board. And we'll swing in here. Discard at random, draw 2. They are looking at Arnie. Probably not going to block Arnie. He has a boast ability that would mean he can take out their 4/4. So they end up blocking the token. I thought about getting the boast ability, but I'd rather just play another creature. And if I had known that we hadn't played a land, which I should have, I probably would have just played the 3-drop there, but the nice thing about this deck is because it has haste, it doesn't often matter too much if you misplay on playing a creature a turn too late or a turn early. This is actually a pretty nice showing for the deck because it got both of its draw engine creatures on board. Because the Caravaner can actually make Toski unblockable, which is a really nice addition. We'd like to play the 6/6 there with its kicker ability. That'll add some counters to it, making it a 10/10. So we get a reach creature, so we can block the spirit if we need to. Kind of thought Vivian was going to die there, but I'm kind of glad she didn't. So we end up playing the Caravaner. That'll lock us out of playing red spells for the rest of the turn. But we have some green spells that we'd rather play anyways. Like Nylea. In fact, actually she's turned on at the moment, which means she becomes a decent blocker. And then we play the Caravaner. We wanted to go hyper mana efficiency. We could have played the Caravaner first, make it so that we didn't have a mana up, but generally this line is more mana efficient because if we wanted to, we could have attacked in here. I was gonna think we could attack in with Ani, but using the 1 mana to make Toski unblockable probably better anyways, because Toski has to attack each combat. So we get in for 1 damage here, draw 1 card. Squirrel is very powerful. Drew a land, gotta play a land. Very good for us. That means we'll be up to the kicker ability next turn, or we might be 1 off, but we're pretty close. They play the 2 mana creature from Quandrix, the double evergreen card. The Strixhaven had a lot of cycles to it, and one of the ones you don't often hear talk about because it's not very good is double evergreen keyword cards. So each of the guilds had 1 creature that was basically a creature with 2 keywords typed onto it that are evergreen, and in Magic the Gathering, evergreen keywords mean that they can appear in any set, and that they're officially recognized as just like part of the Magic, part of like the base level of understanding for new Magic players.
My herd grows ever larger.
Like, they have changed evergreen keywords a lot over the years.
The Arcbow is
Like, one of the first alternatives to unblockableness was, I think it was Shadow came first. These are Fear or Shadow. Both are variants of basically this pseudo unblockability ability that you see in Standard these days as Menace, but you had Shadow, Fear, Intimidate, and now you have Menace. So they do read just what keyword enters the evergreen status to fix things based on power level, but this is not important here. Right now we're actually attacking in with all of our creatures. We got a Vorinclex off of playing our big dude, which meant we got an additional 4 counters, which was really nice. It was a synergy that I didn't know the deck had, but I'm really glad that it does have it because pretty cool, honestly. Might be some kind of reason to run like an actual haste deck in Standard. I haven't tried it yet, but like using Vivian to curve out haste creatures and then getting a free Vorinclex later on seems pretty nice. I don't know if Vivian Champion is worth it. She's a decent planeswalker, but 3/3s every turn. Not that powerful. Turns out, mini vanilla creatures, if they don't do anything, just aren't cutting it. And our opponent concedes. Well, that was the game. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you again at some point in the future for another episode of Brawl. Well,